Hey everybody, we are Super Doppler, and this is the DARA Sessions.
Here's another tune.
We got one more for you folks.
All you people at home out there.
Mm-hmm.
Stand warm by
Go
the
Fighting
fire.
Saints. This one's called Working Title. It's untitled.
Will somebody show me the way back home? Will somebody tell me the way to the road? Take a ride at the church and go down to the lake. When you get to the old guy
That's it. We're Super Doppler. Thank you, Norfolk, Virginia.
Bye-bye.
All right. And
I like that intro.
that was a
nice-
good transition in, right? So welcome Super Doppler to the radio station here at WCSF. If you're just tuning in, they just had a DARA session with us. We got that all tracked down. We're going to put it up on the website pretty soon here. So let's start it off with just having you guys go through just name and instrument and where you're from.
All right, I'm Neal Friedman, and I play keyboards, a little bit of guitar, and sing too.
Nice.
I'm Cole Friedman. I play the bass guitar.
I'm Tyler, and I play some percussion with the band.
All right. So thanks for coming in, guys. First question of many, hopefully. How long have you guys been playing together?
About 10 years.
Too long.
Yeah, a long time now. Since sophomore year of high school, and we're all about 25, 26 now.
And like, how did the band come to fruition, kind of?
This is actually us three are the original core members.
Yeah.
The band we have now we pretty much got that together pretty quickly. But yeah, we started out just as kind of a garage band, high school, playing talent shows and local fundraisers and stuff like that. Just something fun to do with friends at the time.
Nice. And now it's kind of turned into, well, like a pretty successful group, I feel. I mean, like, you guys are doing like really well for yourselves. And it actually kind of leads me to the next question. Before you were Super Doppler, you were major in the Monbacks.
Correct.
And I've read that your first tour you had like over 150 shows or something like that.
Yeah, we hit it. Basically the first year we were ready to. We were like, we're gonna do this full. We were like, we gotta quit all your jobs, no other obligations, and we just booked. Yeah, like we played like 150 shows, I think, in the first year with a van with no air conditioning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we, sleeping on friends' floors, playing for 3 hours a night, and that was kind of our intro to like the lifestyle that we pretty much had for the last 4 years. We're going on 4 years of touring at least 100 to 150 shows a year.
Wow. So you guys definitely know what it is to hit it like pretty hard on the road.
We're trying.
And I guess like comparing your experience then to now, like, has anything changed? Like, do you feel like the way you approach a tour has changed at all?
Yeah, well, we're not. We used to run our own sound every night and had to bring in the whole PA and
Oh, wow.
and yeah, mic stands and the whole 9 yards. So now we get to a venue and there's production ready for us and usually a working engineer at the venue. So it's changed. It's changed some, but sometimes we see the old stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like the small stages and getting cramped in a tight club. So we still enjoy that from time to time, but it is nice to have full production at some of the venues now.
Yeah, it's been slow, gradual change. We still have to crash on a floor or an air mattress every once in a while. It's still the same old grind when it comes down to it.
For sure.
But it's definitely improved a little bit since.
Yeah, I mean, we
since
got
the
out
first
all the
one.
way out to the West Coast last summer, so that was
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
We
Really,
do,
that's awesome.
Roadside motels and hotels every once in a while too. So that's new in the last year and a half,
Yep.
or 2 years,
Yeah,
which is
it's nice to have
game changer.
Yeah, it's nice to have the hotels in the budget these days. A little free breakfast and maybe a whirlpool here and there.
only the good ones.
Yeah.
That's really the whole reason to tour, right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
for the whirlpools.
Yeah.
So when you guys released your Moonlight Anthem album back in June, I got it sent to me through my promoter for the radio show that I host, and as soon as I heard it, like I talked about it on the air, but I thought it sounded kind of like a Chicago soul Beatles kind of band.
That's kind of cool.
And I heard you guys like warming up with Dear Prudence, so I take it you're Beatles fans.
Yeah, we love the Beatles. We love all those bands from the 60s and 70s, especially. I think we all have a soft spot for bands from that era.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing rock and roll music and you don't like the Beatles, you're doing it wrong, in our opinion.
So like I guess other than the Beatles, then like what other influences do you guys mainly take from?
Chicago is a big one.
Oh, wow,
For some
okay,
of the
nice.
guys.
We used to tour with horns, so we had like more of kind of like a Chicago big band sort of sound. But Yeah, and we all listen to a lot of 60s and 70s rock and roll, so you can kind of catch that vibe in some of the tunes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, even like it just on the album you just released, like it has that tone to it too. And I was talking to you guys a little bit before about the recording process, but what was the studio that you guys recorded in?
It's called Montrose Studios.
Yeah,
in Richmond,
Montrose
Virginia.
recording. Yeah, it was a cool process. We did the whole thing on like an old analog board from the 60s or 70s. I can't remember now, but it's called a Flickinger console, and they actually only made 10 of them in the whole world. And
Wow.
they made one for like Johnny Cash, Sly and the Family Stone, I think Funkadelic, and then the one we used was used by the Ohio Players in Chicago. Off Montrose Avenue. I think they ripped it out of a studio somewhere. I think that's how they got the name. But it was amazing. Just hearing those tracks get loaded up in that Flickinger console was alone amazing.
Oh, and I mean like the tone on it's like very warm. It's very reminiscent of like that whole era, and the quality's like really nice. So I mean like kudos to you guys for like
Thanks, man.
tracking it down.
Yeah.
And I heard that you also like live tracked a good amount of the album. So how much of it was like live tracked, and how much of it did you have to like rework later on?
Usually we just did the the rhythm foundation of the song, all the rhythm instruments, drums, bass. If there's like a guitar or a piano that's playing mostly rhythm stuff, we did that together, mostly in the same room, and then we added on vocals and then some lead tracks or like little accents here and there, some stuff that overdubs that we wanted to put in to add to the mix. But yeah, everything started with like a basic, most of us playing together in the room.
Nice, man. So like it felt like pretty holistic overall. Like it wasn't like too
Yeah.
formatted or anything like that.
I think that was pretty important to us to like, I don't know, we're so used to like being on stage, just playing so many live shows all the time. So being in the same room, be able to, look over and actually like see the physical strumming of the guitars and see, Neal hitting the keys or whatever. It actually, it brings, a physical, awesome aspect to it instead of like, hey, you go in there, do the drum track, get the guitar down, get the bass down tomorrow. It's like, let's do it. Let's play a song, and then, let's, work from there.
Yeah, and I mean it sounds very like live tracked. I mean, and I don't say that as in like there's like the live track nuance behind it, but it just has like that feel to it, Like it's very driving. It's got a good flow to the album, and I really enjoyed listening to it.
Oh, shucks.
So do you guys have any acts that you tour with on a regular basis, or do you have any bands that you particularly like to play with?
We did our first tour with another band last fall. We played with this band for a couple weeks called Kansas Bible Company, and they're from the Midwest. They probably played around here before, but other than that, no, we've mostly been on our own. I mean, we've played with a lot of bands. Richmond, Virginia has a great scene, so we've played with a lot of bands from around there pretty often. But when we're on the road, it's mostly just on our own.
So it seems like you guys are like a pretty like DIY type of group. Like it
For
seems
sure.
like you guys just kind of go out and do it yourself.
Well, for the whole history of the band, Cole here sitting next to me has pretty much been, the grindstone behind the whole group. I mean,
He's the big wheel.
Yeah, he booked the shows on our first tour through, now, and we just started working with the agent, so Cole's got a little less pressure, but he still gets blamed for every single thing that happens on the road.
you name a role that someone in a team in a band has, and that's me. Outside of the music, it's tour manager, accountant, payroll, finances.
When do we get to eat?
Caterer.
When can I use the bathroom?
Mechanic,
Cool.
keeper of hotel cards.
Yeah.
Everything. Jeez, that's a long list, man.
Whirlpool specialist.
Accountant.
Yeah.
Accountant, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess putting my business background to a little bit of use here, but mainly play the bass. That's
That's where he tries.
that's the most fun. I guess it's just like you do all that work, and then I feel like it'd be weird to like be doing those jobs and then not get to play it. For me, it's like what drives it is like if the more stuff we do, or the more stuff we're able to do, then I and the band get to experience that. So it's like it's a cool position to be in because everything you're doing is going to directly affect everyone. You know, being in a better mood, having better shows, and then getting to play, and that's why we do it, is because we enjoy playing live and obviously writing music too. So
It's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've done a great job because obviously the music's gotten out there. Like you guys have been touring pretty much. I wouldn't say constantly, but quite a lot. What do you guys do when you're not touring?
random.
Get a real job.
Yeah, I usually just sit in the dark and twiddle my thumbs until Cole sends us more tour dates. But
At first, when we first 2014, when our first time touring, we were like I said earlier, everyone has to quit their jobs. Neal and I just finished school, and everyone had other things going on, but no other obligations. Did that for 2 years, and then it was this isn't going to work. We all need to, we can't afford to do that. So everyone's got random stuff. I mean, between Tyler's at the Opera House doing production. I work at a brewery, substitute teaching, restaurant.
Neal's a newly learned barista.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to go for the full cliche, musician and barista.
Can you make a cappuccino yet? Or
Yeah, I can make a pretty good cappuccino.
You're not just pouring,
latte.
Not just pouring coffee. That's
No, I
good,
do everything.
yeah. All right,
Lattes,
yeah.
cappuccinos, macchiatos.
Oh, macchiato.
Wow.
So pretty much anything in order to pay the bills.
Yeah. Whatever keeps the music alive.
And I wanted to ask you guys too, equipment wise, what do you use individually? I guess you can't speak for the other guys as well, but
I could speak for them, but they might not want me to.
Yeah, Tyler can start with this long list of
Tyler probably has the most
the most interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a crazy kind of thing for me. I've kind of just adapted as the band has grown, and I started just playing a tambourine, maybe a maraca here and there. But it's grown into I'm playing congas, and I have a full auxiliary percussion setup with, you name it, and I can make that jingle or that whatever. Yeah. So I'm always trying to add, and I don't like repeating on any song. So throughout our albums, I try to, be very different, drastic differences throughout what I play. So. Yeah, that's enough about me.
I'm a lefty bass player, so coming across guitars is tough.
Oh,
and
nice.
I
Okay.
found an American Fender P bass on Craigslist when I was we had just started taking it a little bit more seriously. I didn't even know that was a really nice guitar. I just knew it was Fender. And the guy sold it to me for $400. It was pretty much new, and those are $1,300.
Wow, yeah.
So I've kept that, and that's been the only guitar I've really used for the most part. And I have also a old 70s Ampeg V4 rig, so it's a smaller SVT, a little bit less headroom, but still loud and really heavy and annoying to. I literally can't set it up myself. As a case that I have to have two people to lift it off. You have to have two people to get it onto the stage if there's not a ramp. So it's definitely a little bit annoying, but it's worth it. I mean, the tone is really cool.
It's not quite a full refrigerator. It's just a mini fridge.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you said you play keys, right?
Yeah, I actually just got a new keyboard because the first gig of this tour, I opened up my keyboard case and for sound check, and my old Electra Nord was broken, so
Oh, no.
it didn't power on.
Jeez.
Well, somehow I'm gonna have to get it repaired, but obviously I scrambled to borrow the other band's keyboard for that show, and then we had a show in Nashville the next day, so I got to Nashville, went to Guitar Center, and bought a brand new keyboard. So now I'm playing a Nord Electra 5, and it sounds good, but it's still getting the hang of the whole interface and everything.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit different than what you're used to. Mm-hmm. It does have a nice tone on it, though. I was going to say,
Sounds really good, yeah.
It sounds almost like a Rhodes, at least coming from here.
Yeah, that's what I usually use on it, the Rhodes or the Worley.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and overall, I mean, the tone across the board sounded really good. It had a good kind of I want to say analog sound to it.
Yeah, I know Harry and Michael both play some vintage guitars and stuff. So they're all, Harry's a guitar aficionado. So he's always collecting parts here and there and building Frankenstein guitars and stuff. So we've got Harry around to keep us on our toes with the vintage equipment. So yeah.
Awesome. And are you guys planning on doing a show in Chicago soon?
Not this trip.
Yeah, not this trip. We have played in Chicago a couple times.
Did Shuba's
Yeah.
last time, which was really fun.
Shuba's,
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a
Marty
great venue.
R's,
With
yeah.
American Grizzly. They're like
Yeah.
a local Chicago act, and they were really
Yeah,
cool.
they were killer. They brought an awesome crowd and yeah, had a great sound. So yeah, it was cool to be paired up with a cool band in Chicago. Man, we dig Chicago. We had a day off actually 2 times ago when we rolled through, and we did the whole 9 yards. We saw the Bean, we saw Wrigley Field, saw Harry Carey statue, and I won't do my Harry Carey impression for you, but what else did we see? We ate a hot Chicago hot dog. So I guess that's all you need to do, right?
We did a
yeah.
festival too.
Yeah, we did a
Wicker Park Fest.
Wicker
There's a
Park
music
Fest,
festival
yeah.
going on. It was,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We went
Okay.
all bounced around from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Yeah, we got the whole experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you just have to go to the Bean when you come to
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
And if you're more of a native, like there's so many memes on Facebook right now, like free the Bean, like into Lake
Yeah.
Michigan, like take it out.
Any excuse to see my reflection, you know.
That's the whole point, right? Well, hey guys, thanks for coming in. Like seriously, I really appreciate you coming in, doing a great DARA session, and giving a great interview. It was awesome talking to you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
This is Super Doppler here on WCSF. Go check out their newest LP. It's called Moonlight Anthems. And we're actually going to close it out here with the single off of that album. It's called We Are Doing Fine. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.